The main reason, 110%, on why you can understand English but cannot speak it fluently is because you don't rise to the level of your goals and your dreams, but you fall down to the level of your systems and environment. Your environment does not allow you to speak English fluently. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another English video after eternity. Okay, so before I give you the solutions, first I will diagnose the problem fully so you know exactly where you stand and what is the main reason why you cannot speak English fluently to save your life. You are essentially the product of your environment. So look around yourself, okay? Where in your environment are you encouraged to speak English? In your school? I don't think so. I don't think so. At home? Never. Okay. Where else? In your work? Even not in your work, because let's take me for example. I'm an English writer, but I'm not required to speak English at all. I'm only required to write English. I maybe text in English, but I interact in my native language. I don't even speak English. My English is speaking skills aren't even required here. So even when I'm submerged into an English field from head to toe, my English speaking skills aren't required still. So even my environment now does not encourage me to speak English. So your environment really does not encourage you to speak English, and since you are the product of your environment, you can understand English because your environment made it necessary for you to understand English, be it in your school, be it in your movies, like in your shows or whatever that you do. The application settings that you have on your phone, it's all in English. So it made it necessary for you to read English, to listen to English, and understand it. But what it did not do is made it necessary for you to speak it. So now that you understand that you're stuck, your environment is making you stuck at this level, what do? I started learning Mandarin, and my environment does absolutely not encourage me to learn Mandarin or even like read it, to listen to it or to speak it. How do I learn Mandarin? Because like for example, I realized how incredibly privileged and blessed I was in terms of an English environment, because my siblings used to talk to me in English, and even if it was broken, like we all used to like communicate in broken English, but at the same time we all improved drastically together. And I used to like listen to English. I was encouraged to speak English. I was incredibly blessed to have this environment. But for Mandarin, I realized that the sheer the sheer scarcity of it. You have to shape your environment, because I was already given an English environment. But for Mandarin, I need to shape my environment, okay? So what I did was that I banned all other dramas except Chinese dramas. I'm not even watching Korean dramas these days. It's all Chinese dramas. Chinese songs, Chinese dramas, Chinese shows, Chinese videos. Everything is Chinese in my life now. Since we have diagnosed the problem, what is the solution? Okay, because some of you might say, you know what, I really would love to speak English, but I have no one to speak English with. It is a common problem, especially for those people that do not live in an English speaking country. So I also did not used to live in an English speaking country, okay? So the first thing that you can do is watch this video where I gave out all my tips and like how you can speak English fluently without having someone to speak English with, okay? But I did have someone to speak English with, and that was my siblings. I used to communicate with my siblings in English at home, which really upgraded our skills altogether, okay? Because after a certain point, you need someone to speak English with. And that is why you could consider this a part 2 of that video. But I would recommend you to watch this video because I really gave out all the tips I personally used to use that really boosted my English skills. Now, throwing myself in an institute really helped me get the privilege of having teachers, because if I were only studying by myself, I would be deprived of this. Okay, so at one point I realized I really need a teacher because there's only so much I can self-study alone. I can learn all the grammar by myself. I don't need a teacher for that. I can learn all the vocabulary by myself. I still don't need a teacher for that. But to put it all together into practice, that is where you need someone. To learn all the theoretical material, I don't need any teacher for that. Okay? But it's when you start doing the practical stuff, you cannot like avoid the need for a teacher or for any native that knows what you're talking about, that knows what you're trying to say, and that can correct you on your mistakes. Their presence is invaluable here, okay? So what you have to do is find a teacher. Find someone that you can communicate with. Find someone that you can talk to. It's basically a necessity at this point. It's not like, but I don't find any. I can give you a few tips on how to find someone, but you also need to like actively look for someone that you can speak in English with.
Came to Hangzhou.
Yeah,
And after that, tourists flooded the place.
yeah,
And that's how you learned English.
yeah. I really like I don't know why at 12, 13 years old, that time I suddenly fell in love into the language, the English. And there's no place you can learn English at that time. There's no books, English books. So I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou Shangri-La Hotel, because that was the hotel can receive the foreign visitors. So every morning for 9 years, I showed them around as a free guide, and they taught me English.
Now that you know you need someone, what do you do first? What I did first was that I enrolled myself in an institute. Find an institute locally or a tutor locally. It doesn't even have to be a native speaker, okay? I came to this level without ever conversing with a native speaker. Okay, so there is hope. You don't need to have a native speaker to speak in English or to become fluent in English, okay? So find someone locally, find someone that you can converse in English with. There are a lot of free apps, but it doesn't have any person. So that's the same thing. Like even if you use those apps, like there's Character AI, Chat GPT, and it'll give you conversational texts, okay? And there's like what, Rosetta Stone and all of these. But at the same time, it's like I was not recommending these things right now. I'll make a separate video on them because at this, it's the same thing. Like there is no person to correct you there, right? So I would say to find a human being to communicate in English with. One thing that I would like to add is do not go into pen pal apps or these like language exchange apps where everyone's gonna come here and we're gonna make friends and we're gonna exchange languages. No, nobody's there to talk or to like converse with you in English. There are thirsty people there, okay? Because I have tried those apps and nobody's there to learn English or any other language, okay? So you have better chances of making friends on Reddit or on Discord or any language learning forums where people would be more serious and more interested in learning the language. I'm telling you, they don't have to be native, but they have to be someone that knows how to speak English or any other language that you're trying to learn. Okay, but now you would say, you know what, I really don't have someone to talk to, or I really don't have any institute near me, I'm stuck at my job, I have no time to spare for any institute or socializing at all, okay? So when you're this stuck, but you really want to improve English because it's a necessity at this point, or you really are serious about improving English, that's when these apps come. My personal recommendation is this app. I'm not sponsored, by the way, but I would love to be. Okay. So of all the apps that I researched about, this one was the cheapest solution I could find because I could not find any free solutions, and you know why. Nobody would like to give their time for free. Nobody would like to give you their time for free. Yeah. So yes, out of all the apps, I personally recommend this one because it's like a no commitment thing. You book a session for an hour, flexible timings. For example, you log off at 5 and you waste an hour doing nothing. So what you can do is immediately book a session for 6 o'clock, okay? And then you have that session, you pay, and you're just done, okay? So it's like pay as you go kind of thing, no flexible scheduling and everything. Personally, I've only heard good things about this app, so you can use this app to invest in your English speaking skills if you have no friends, if you have no tutors around you available, or if you have like no institute, or you don't have the time, or you lack like you're shy and introverted and you make it, you know, it's a struggle for you to make friends, okay? This is a good app. At the end of the day, it's kind of investing in your like language learning skills, because that's the same reason I enrolled in an institute, because my environment does not allow me to speak Mandarin at all. So yes, these are the solutions I could find for you to start speaking in English, because you have to speak in English with someone. You need a person. Okay, firstly watch this video where it's like the part one of this video, and it's all the secrets or all the things that I shared that I personally applied on myself when I had no one around me. Okay, but yes, this is the second part of this video, and it's really important for you to have someone to speak English with after a while. Okay, so yes, wrapping up, I would say you have to make your environment that way. It encourages you to speak English. All the apps, all the videos that I talked about, I will of course have them in the description down below, so you can go visit there. And with that being said, I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, write your challenges down below, what you're struggling with down below. I'll be happy to make a video on them. And also socialize in the comments, guys. Like, make friends, like make language partners. What good way it would be to like socialize in the comment section and make good friends and have someone to speak English with. Like, this is free, okay? You can socialize in my comment section and that make friends. Okay, so yes, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back with another video next time.